One of the most dominant programs in the country comes to Virginia to take on a hungry tribe, hoping to make its mark on the college lacrosse landscape. Fourth-ranked Maryland and William & Mary live from Williamsport, Virginia on Lax Sports Network. Hello, everybody. Alongside the U.S. national team member, Kylie O'Miller, I am Tom Eschen. You've got Colleen Dawson for the tribe today, the former Terp, playing against her coach in Maryland, Kathy Reese. Kylie, it's like you going up against Joe Spallina back in the day.
Yes, thank goodness I don't have to do that. But both of these coaches had incredible things to say about each other and very similar philosophies that they've taken from their time at Maryland. So I'm excited to see these two go head-to-head.
Like you're right. They've sort of named the same image and likeness of each other. Colleen tried to do that at William & Mary, but they both have focal points on their offense. Let's start with Maryland and Aurora Accordingly coming over from Hopkins and now leads Maryland in every offensive category in her grad year.
Absolutely. Aurora is somebody that Kathy Reese described to us earlier this week as someone that they would scout against every time Maryland played Hopkins in the previous years. So having her coming over to Maryland and leading their team on their offense, being the quarterback of their offense as well, it's exciting to see. She's one of those players that you're seeing on highlight reels all over social media this year.
William & Mary led by senior Belmar, top 10 in school history, goals and points, a huge part of this offense since her freshman year.
Absolutely. A couple hat tricks and then some so far already this year for Belle Martiri. Excited to see her quarterback this offense, lead out there, dodge hard, go to cage, finish her shots, doing some special things for the Tribe Lacrosse.
The players standing here for the final moments of the national anthem as we get set and ready to go. In goal today for the Maryland women, Emily Sterling, the junior with sophomore eligibility from Bel Air, Maryland. She's played most of the time. She started every game she's played in this year. There has been a few changes as the season's gone on, as the freshman Emily Lambarter for the Maryland side of things has gotten a little bit of time, but Kathy Reese says the goalie situation is fluid at times, but it is Sterling, Kylie, that's the one that gets the call here once again today.
Yes, Kathy was telling us about their goalie dynamic here at Maryland, as you can see right here, just warming each other up. They are good teammates, right? And they're good supporters of each other. And no matter who's going to get the start, no matter who's going to get the playing time, they're out there for each other and they're out there for the best of the team, right? They're there for Maryland Lacrosse. So I'm excited to see both Emilys out there doing their thing today.
Absolutely. Maddie McSally, another goalie that's gotten time a couple years ago, also still a part of this goalie room for Maryland. As we go over to William & Mary, brand new face, but she doesn't act like it. Elise Palmer, she made 16 saves in William & Mary's victory over Villanova to start the season. Just a freshman from St. David's, Pennsylvania. She's been pretty good so far. Not easy to step into a goalie role as a true freshman here, Kylie.
Definitely not easy to be a freshman anywhere on the field, but especially as a goalie, right? The leader of the defense, being vocal, picking your teammates up after the other team scores a goal. That's not an easy spot to fill as a leader, as a young player. So it's really cool to see Elise striving and thriving in those moments and being successful for Tribe Lacrosse.
As you mentioned at the top of the broadcast, William & Mary coached by Colleen Dawson in her third season now. So this finally maybe a feeling like a normal season for her. Of course, the first year in 2020 cut short. The second year, all sorts of protocols, and now finally those lifted for Dawson's first season here, third season here, but first season really of normalcy after she won a national title at Maryland in 2010. Playing for Kathy Reese in her 16th season with Maryland. So much success over the years there. A really intriguing matchup here on the sidelines too.
Definitely. I think to your point, it's been a crazy couple of years, but one of the best things that you can see in a lot of these broadcasts here this weekend and early this season so far is fans back in the stands. A little bit of normalcy after the last couple of years. No masks out there on the field either. Just players out there doing what they do best and doing what they've worked so hard to be able to do.
And free frozen yogurt today here at Busch Field in Williamsburg, Virginia. That's another incentive for coming out. 58 degrees, partly cloudy as we get set for the opening draw in Virginia today. And that opening draw now goes the way and bouncing in the middle of the field and picked up by Belle Martiri. And that's a part of her game, Kylie, that Colleen Dawson's tried to influence more, making her more well-rounded, getting draws, feeding her teammates, and you see it here from the start.
Yeah, as mentioned at the top of the broadcast, I think Belle Martiri has been she's been a dominant force for William & Mary, and getting her all over the field on the draw circle, picking up ground balls in the ride, just makes her that much more of a threat other than just being able to score goals and feed her teammates.
And quickly, Maryland back the other way after that opening miss by William & Mary. William & Mary coming into the day at 2-2, Maryland 4-0. They have looked dominant here in the early part of this season. They are 4th in the nation, but they blew out St. Joe's, beat Virginia, a top 10 team, 17-13 at that. And already on the board to start is Libby May. Maryland 1-0.
Yeah, right away you see that quarterbacking we were talking about from Aurora Accordingly at X. She was kind of dancing back there, a couple different moves, a split dodge, a roll dodge, getting her defender to kind of turn around. They get the ball back here to X, as you see, and that's Aurora. She's attacking her defender, roll dodge, a split right back, and her eyes are up when she gets that a little bit of extra pressure from that William & Mary defense, which rightfully so, right? Going into this game, they probably did the same kind of scout that we did, that we were talking about in those early slides to an Aurora Accordingly, who has her hands free. You're probably going to see a little bit of that today, but that's an awesome finish there by Libby May.
Libby May's 11th goal this season, Cordingley's 10th assist on the year. Like we said at the top, she leads Maryland in every offensive category. Cordingley coming off an outstanding week, and she had 5 goals and an assist against Delaware, 4 goals and 6 assists against Florida. She had like every single award you can possibly get offensively in the NCAA this past weekend, and she has been a joy for Kathy Reese, and a nice find in the transfer portal, you could say.
Definitely, and she didn't have to go too far from Hopkins to University of Maryland, but coming from Ontario, that's definitely pretty far from home. So I'm sure she's found a home right there in the Baltimore area, sticking around.
So quickly attacking here, Maryland getting that shooting space call. Shannon Smith here on the right side. Shannon Smith, another one of those transfers coming over from North Carolina. Now a sophomore. She goes right to the cage, and that's bounced into the stick of Elise Palmer, making her first save and trying to clear it out. We have a collision there after the ball was lost, and this will stay here with Maryland on that dot behind goal line extended. Here is Smith once again. She works herself behind the cage. It looks to Lubicker. Lubicker, good scorer for this offense. 11 goals here on that season. Fake inside for Smith, and she gets in for the goal, 2-0.
Something that you can notice about this play here, you just saw Shannon Smith over on the other side of the 8, taking that free position shot. And then she ends up over on the complete other side of the scoring opportunity to fake and finish here. Something that Maryland's doing a really good job of doing in their offensive sets so far today. They're playing against a William & Mary zone defense. They look like they've got a backer of some sort. So they're moving the ball pretty well, sharing the ball well, and you see a successful kind of fake off of a little slide there from a sliding William & Mary defender, and Shannon Smith's able to get in there and finish that shot.
Her 9th goal of the season. She had a hat trick against Florida. That was an 18-8 victory for Maryland over Florida. Florida 7th in the nation at the time. Like I said, they've been dominant this year. Maybe a little something to prove, I'd imagine. And Maryland, who had gone to all those Final Fours in a row, that finally snapped last year. They went to 11 straight. And then 2020 came out a little slow. 2021 wasn't their year. That was the year in which the streak was snapped, losing in the second round of the NCAA tournament. They look like the Maryland of old this year to start for sure.
Definitely, back in that top 5 ranking, right, ranked number 4 and coming out dominant, like you said, with something to prove, a little chip on their shoulder after last year, and then coming back out with a bunch of these new transfers, a lot of young talent that might seem young as of like grad year technically, but they've had a lot of experience over the last 2 years through COVID protocols and difficult years. So they're just excited to get back out there and, prove to everybody what Maryland lacrosse is like.
Looks like they drew a 3-second there once again. So another opportunity at a free position. Here is Smith. Smith going to the cage, and that one bounces in, a second in a row for Shannon Smith. 3-0 Maryland.
Another free position opportunity here for Shannon Smith. She's able to capitalize on this one. Again, seeing her kind of all over the field, attacking from all different angles. We saw her on that left inside hash to start. Then she just finished that last shot off of that right elbow, and now she's on the second inside hash on the right. And, you know, being able to finish all over the field is something really, really important. So that's an awesome shot there by Shannon Smith.
Smith, the daughter of a couple of college lacrosse players. Her brother is at Lynchburg. She's one of 4 children, so lacrosse running in her blood. Came through the Inside Lacrosse rankings as well. She was the 13th ranked freshman coming into last year. Now, like you said, Kylie, part of that crop of sophomores that sort of had to be brought along, you know, over the course of a couple years here for Maryland, and now you're starting to see them contribute alongside the grad transfers and Cordingley and Lubicker, and of course Smith, a transfer from North Carolina herself.
Definitely, I think that's important. I think you know, Coach Kathy Reese mentioned it as well. There's kind of like no classes out there anymore. You know, people have been, you know, very, like, they've had the opportunity to kind of play under different circumstances over the last couple of years. So even though they may technically be freshmen or sophomores based on their classes out there right now, they've had the opportunity to practice and play in pressure scenarios for the last couple of years. So everyone kind of is out there with that same mentality of just grateful to be here, grateful to be able to do what we love to do, because we saw how easy it was to be, you know, kind of taken away as Maryland comes down the other way.
Yeah, here comes Cordingley. That one does bounce out. She was right on the doorstep. Looked like that one might have been deflected on cage and off the cage, and dodging a bullet there was William and Mary. Maryland looked like that was going to be an easy goal.
Yeah, that was a great save. That was one of those ones as an attacker you hate to see, but an incredible save there by Elise. She kind of was jumping up high. She went on Aurora's fake high and then was able to kick her legs together, and that was a little bit of a foot save there. That was an incredible athletic save right there.
She is 6th in the nation, 13 saves per game. And another turnover here. It's been a struggle for William Mary just to get settled. Back the other way comes Smith looking for a hat trick. And she will foul that one right on out, and she gets the backup there too. So Maryland will keep the possession. Just a struggle here for William and Mary. They had that one time there on offense and turned it over immediately. So they've been playing a lot of defense already against, of course, a top 5 team. This one down low. Clevenger is stopped by Palmer. And it is William and Mary who gets back up there, so they get possession back.
Another really athletic save there. She followed that one all the way around, was able to drop low. A couple really great saves for her so far.
William and Mary winning that opener against Villanova. A huge win, 14-13 there. Then losses to Richmond and Duke. And Duke's been putting up 20-plus goals all season long. They got a big matchup with Syracuse coming up tomorrow. And then William and Mary last time out, a couple weekends back, Old Dominion, they beat them 18-11 in that game. So that was something positive to go into this matchup for, and now trying to get some traction here against this Maryland ride. Lauren Russell, you see here with the ball right now. She did not play last game, but is back here today. 6 goals, 2 assists on the season. Serves as a nice counterpart to Montieri on offense. That looked like it was deflected in front by Beretta, now gobbled up there by Sterling, the goalie.
That was a nice little 2-man look there on the elbow, dodging hard, and then looking up for a teammate, kind of cutting right through. That was a great look on offense there for William and Mary. Just ended up in Maryland's stick.
Lubicker bouncing that to herself. Now Cordingley goes down. Oh, tough angle shot. And there's Palmer again. Palmer's had Cordingley's number for the most part here early on.
Definitely seems like she's done her homework.
They were talking about her after the Villanova game. Colleen Dawson was like, yeah, I went to her dad, and he's like, yep, that's sort of the way she is. She's always been this calm, cool, collected, you know, and in big moments, and she's got a great presence, won a state title in Pennsylvania in the high school level. So you play in big games, you can translate that to the collegiate level too.
Right, exactly. Once you get to the college level, you know, every game is a big game. So having that kind of practice at the high school level, I'm sure has prepared her well for these moments.
Ahern tried to dodge there. Some help came in late, and a whistle blows. Looks like we'll get another free position for Maryland on the 8-meter. It'll be Shaylin Ahern, the back-to-back defending Big Ten midfielder of the week. Tried to pass out of that, and they got deflected away. Now a battle for the ground ball. And this one will go the way of William & Mary. So that draws the applause of the crowd here in Williamsburg today. Captain Caroline Donovan. One woman clear here, and unfortunately took it a little too far as Abby Bosco makes her name in the box score for the first time today. The graduate from Suffern, New York, coming over from Penn for her grad year.
Coach Kathy Reese made the comparison to Maryland great Lizzie Colson with Abby Bosco, just fighting for those ground balls. She always ends up coming up with it. Kathy Reese said she wasn't quite sure how she does it, but she always manages to make it happen and is really, really impactful in one-on-one defense. And it's clear. You saw that right there in that play.
And William & Mary gets the ball back, and I like this timeout by Colleen Dawson. We're going to take a step aside and take a break ourselves. We'll catch our breaths, but Dawson talking things over with her squad. 7:20 to go here in the first in Williamsburg. You're watching Maryland and William & Mary, our CAA Game of the Week on Lax Sports Network. Back here at Bush Field in Williamsburg, Virginia. It's 3-0. Quick start here for Maryland today, Kylie. They got off to a good start, and William & Mary starting to settle in a little bit more as they've got some traction back here too.
Definitely. We saw a couple of free position opportunities, as you see here, from Shannon Smith. She's got 2 goals already on the day for Maryland. This is her second right there. And your first one came off of an Aurora Accordingly assist right there to Libby May. And you're seeing a bunch of different threats out there for the Maryland offense. And I think that's something that Coach Kathy Reese mentioned is a big, big kind of idea for their Maryland team, right? They want to have 7 offensive threats out there at all times. And you're seeing that starting to unfold here. And here goes William & Mary on the clear with another big turnover.
That one tapped away from Donovan, but the whistle will blow in accordance with that. Yeah, Kathy was saying how she didn't like how they were shooting the ball and really wanted to be more efficient in that. They started off well here today, but a couple stops from Palmer has gotten William & Mary a couple more possessions here as of late here as we make our way to the midway point of this first.
Getting a good look at William & Mary's offense here. This is probably their first time in a settled offensive set this entire game, so looking to see exactly how they attack Maryland's defense here.
Here's Matiri, long goal line extended, trying to roll inside. Grace Ahonen, captain. Dodges to the right, the speed dodge, and she scores! William & Mary on the board with Ahonen's 4th of the season.
That was an awesome move right down the alley to her strong right hand for Ahonen. Her shot placement was incredible there. As she's coming down that right side, she's losing her angle with every step that she takes, right? And that's what's really great about that alley dodging and being able to finish those shots. She's able to turn her entire body and finish that shot right down at the feet of the goalie so that it bounces up top corner. That's a really difficult shot to save. So that's an awesome take right there.
Yeah, we go back to the timeout that we saw from Colleen Dawson a moment ago, and you could feel how much more settled the offense was, and that the transition and the clear, I think, really helped that goal work, you know?
Definitely, and, to your point, right, just settling down a little bit, down 3-0 to the number 4 team in the country, being able to take a breather and say, hey, we're okay, we're in this, we've got some big turnovers, some big saves, let's just get the ball up the field and get into our offense and see what we can do, and that's exactly what they did there.
So now we go to the draw. That was something both the coaches talked about to us this week. And Maryland has been one of the best in the draw all season long. They're 4th in the NCAA, just under 20 a game. And William & Mary best in the CAA in the conference, but so far 4 of the 5 have gone the Maryland way. That's why you've seen the ball tilted to this side of the field throughout. Accordingly checked here by Hertzberg. They get into the middle. Lubiker scores. Nose for the goal. Hannah Lubiker, and she gets her first of the day, her 12th of the season. Maryland strikes right back.
Yes, and to your point, Tom, right, coming right off the draw, getting right into their offense, it seems as if William and Mary was a little unsettled on defense there, and Maryland took advantage of it the second that they kind of went through that slow break and got the ball behind at X to roar accordingly. She drew a little bit of that extra pressure, and then that second slide wasn't there for Lubecker. So that was a great play there, just catching William and Mary off guard in their unsettled defense and taking advantage of it right off the draw.
Yeah, Kyle, you mentioned all the threats on this Maryland offense, and sometimes because of the way Cordingley's come out, you know, as the new face, you almost forget about Lubiker, but she led this team. She had 58 goals last season, comes into this year as a third-team All-American preseason, two-time watch list, so the threats abound here for Maryland. Now you're seeing them come out today. Draw picked up there by the freshman Jordan Lipkin, one of the few freshmen who does get some time here for Maryland. That's someone we were told to keep an eye on here, as she looks like she'll gain a little bit more playing time as the year goes on too. So she gains that draw, another one won by Maryland, and they go back to work on offense. Victoria Hench checking in for the first time today alongside Lipkin. Changing things up a bit here is Kathy Reese. Getting some new faces in there. Megan to the middle, accordingly there as well.
And you can see they're definitely paying attention to Cordingley there in the middle. She caught the ball in the middle of the 8 off of one of those feeds, and there was immediately 3 William & Mary defenders on her. So you know that they've done their scout on defense, and they're trying to make sure that those goals for Maryland are coming from other places, and they're doing a good job of it so far.
Clear here for Caroline Donovan, the junior captain from Lewes, Delaware. A little more settled in the clear for William & Mary now. I've seen them a little bit more on the offensive side. Here's Sarah Sapola, so the CAA Women's Player of the Week. Had a great day against Old Dominion. Help is ready for Martiri. She's bodied by 2, Beretta and Boscow. She draws a foul. So she'll set up there on the hash. 15 goals, 3 assists this season. And she'll go to the cage, and in she goes. And that's a good goal. 4-2. They say she was pushed in, so the goal is good. Martiri's on the board with her 16th of the season.
That's not an easy hash to take a free position shot from, but you can tell that Martiri, she's ready to go. She tucks her stick under a little bit. She takes a little bit of pressure from some sliding defenders. To your point, right? The refs, declared her as a push through the crease, so she was able to finish falling down, and that makes that a 4-2 game, keeping it nice and close.
Yeah, you saw her eye the defender coming at her there, Aiden Paduzzi. Kylie, you've been in that situation so often. Just to locate where that person's going to be seems like so important that you don't see that often.
Right, and as an attacker, a lot of times, you think about defenders and exactly where they're going to be, right? When you're thinking about dodging, you're looking at your defense's feet and at their hips and thinking about, hey, how can I get them to step this way? It's the same situation on a free position. You're kind of thinking about, how can I beat this defender to a certain place on the field so that I can increase my angle at the shot, especially when I'm on a hanging hash like I was there for Belle Martiri, right? I want to increase my angle and get to the middle a little bit more. So the one person she's got to beat was on her right there, and she did a great job at being able to beat her to the middle, finish that shot.
And William & Mary gets the draw, so they get possession once again here. Roth guarded by Sanchez, and now they will now work into their offense once again. Sapola, 5 goals, 4 assists this season. There's the shot, just off the mark. Gilbert that time. Russell picks it back up. Midway through the possession clock. That one's up and over, and it's going to be backed up, looks like, by the goalie Sterling. Did she get it? Yeah, Maryland's going to get it. And Mary will pressure this clear, too.
Yeah, that was a good look by William & Mary. They played some good team offense there. They were taking up a little bit of that shot clock as well. I think there was about 35 seconds left on the shot clock when they went for that shot. Just an unfortunate, controllable error where you could have somebody, backing up the cage, which they did on the first shot, right? And I'm sure they'll learn, by their mistakes the next time they come down on offense. But a really good look there to the inside, and I'm sure those shots will go the next time they get down there.
Brief stoppage in play here as William & Mary was shuffling the defender Caroline Donovan back into there, and see if they put anybody behind or just let him go from here. I think this might have been just an official's timeout, and we'll just set and restart here and have a little less than 3 minutes to go. If you haven't watched any women's lacrosse, but why wouldn't you? They're to quarters this year. It was halves beforehand prior to this season, so we're playing 4 15-minute quarters now, so each one chunked up here a little bit more than the past. And there's a 3-second call on William & Mary. So another free position coming, and Maryland's made a couple of these today. And this will be Kate Seitz, the redshirt sophomore, to get an opportunity. Has 3 goals this year. And she's gonna go 2 goals. She gets checked, tries to go to that far post, and it's picked up by William & Mary and into Palmer's stick. Going quickly here to Caitlin Codsley. And a lot of pressure here applied by Aurora Cordingley. That's something that we were told to look out for, that Cordingley's done a really good job at the redefend and making it hard for teams to get the clear, and she's the one who gets it back.
Definitely. That was something Coach Kathy Reese was mentioning too. That was a big goal for this Maryland team, was to focus on their redefend and put a lot of effort into that this season. And you see that kind of come to life right there in that play, and they get the ball right back on their offensive end.
Grace Griffin in there now. She was one of the captains for this Maryland women's team. She's the one who draws the foul. Looks like she's going to get this on the 8-meter too. The first 3-time captain in program history.
That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, considering the people that have gone through this program, absolutely.
Right.
Former Big Ten freshman of the year way back in 2018. She was one of the few that still got some playing time in that title team from a couple years ago in 2019, and she is on the board. It's 5-2.
Another free position opportunity off of a 3 seconds call here for Maryland. And as you mentioned, right, those big time moments Grace Griffin has a lot of experience in, and she's one of the only ones on this Maryland team, being able to be a part of that 2019 championship game. So she's set to go in a moment like that, being able to finish the shot. She goes to her left hand and she puts that low and away, and that's a really tough shot to save. So an incredible finish there for the 3-time captain for Maryland.
Yeah, we talked about how she's been there a long time. She scored her first career goal the last time these two teams met back in 2018 against William & Mary. So some synergy there, as this, of course, as a grad student, should be your last season here with Maryland. You see some of those names, the few that are still remaining from that championship team, 4 of them in all from 2019. Feels like, we talked about it with Kathy and everybody, like it feels like forever ago, but it was only 2 champions ago at this point. Kind of amazing.
Right, 2019. It does feel like it was, at some points in the time, it feels as if it was last year, and at some points in time, It was, you'd look around and you're like, wow, it's 2022. It's been 3 years. So, but, I think that kind of game experience and those big moments, that proves to be a really good trait of a captain, right? And she's able to kind of lead these young players and not so young players who have all been here for a couple of years throughout the entire COVID process and rebuilding and all of that. So I'm sure Grace Griffin is an incredible leader for this Terp squad.
Ball bobbles around a bit here, and it's picked back up. There's the shot, goes off the post, picked up by Smith. 19 on the clock here in the first. Clock continues to roll. Foul here in the offensive territory, William & Mary, so we'll keep on going. 10 seconds, see if they can get anything off. 4 on the clock, and they do it. It's Boscow who is fouled, and time will expire. But early start for Maryland. William & Mary with a response of their own. 5-2. We are through 15 minutes of play with the second quarter coming your way next. You're watching the CAA Game of the Week here from Williamsburg, Virginia on Lax Sports Network. Welcome back to a beautiful spring day, you could call it. Yes, we're in the month of March in Williamsburg, Virginia, alongside Kylie O'Miller. I am Tom Eschen. Appreciate you joining us. 5-2, Maryland on top of William & Mary. A competitive first quarter, though, and the fourth-ranked team in the country coming into enemy territory today. Kylie, what do you think so far?
Yeah, I think it's been a competitive game, to your point. I think that, both teams seem to have done their homework on each other, which is what makes lacrosse really exciting, right? William & Mary's defense doing a good job at sliding early to Aurora accordingly. She's had a couple assists on the day so far, but in goal for William & Mary, Elise Palmer has a couple of nice saves on her as well. And then on the flip side, Maryland doing a great job at sliding early to Belle Martyr. So I think you're seeing some really good competition out here between these two teams, and excited to see what the second quarter brings.
The coach for William & Mary, Colleen Dawson, she did say to us, she goes, well, normally Maryland's number 1, on a generally yearly basis. They're number 4 this year, so you never know. We got to tell them they got a shot, right?
Right, absolutely. If there's going to be a year, right, it's got to be the year when they're number 4 instead of number 1.
Exactly.
So, looking at the bright side of things, and I think she also was just really adamant about how much work and effort they put into really creating an incredible culture of tribe lacrosse, right, at William & Mary, and just playing for each other and playing in a classless kind of team, right, where freshmen versus seniors, there's no such thing. They're just kind of all playing for the same common goal. And that's when you see the best team chemistry. That's when you see some really special things happen out there. So who knows? Maybe it is William & Mary's year to beat the number 4 team in the country.
You never know. We'll find out soon. But there's the freshman, Jordan Lipkin, getting her first of the day. Her 5th goal of the year for the freshman from Short Hills, New Jersey, one of this talented freshman class, number 1 ranked in the nation, and Lipkin, the one who's gotten a lot of time this year, and she scores today.
Yeah, exciting to see Jordan, someone that I've worked with personally a bunch in my career. So exciting to see her stepping on the big stage as a freshman and making a difference, making an impact on this Maryland offense and on the draw circle. You've seen her handle a couple of these draw controls as of the last couple minutes. So that's a really, really special number to wear out there on a Maryland team as well, number 21. So, I'm sure she's hoping to wear it well.
Another assist there from Accordingly, her 3rd of the day. So the offense flowing through her, and a piece that Kathy Reese said they needed on offense, and you're seeing why as now it's 6-2 Maryland just into this second quarter. William & Mary's got a little more traction on the draw here as Hertzberg picks that up. So they do get the ball back. That was the thing they struggled with the first few possessions of the game, and now I think they've settled in a little bit more. Might have been some jitters in the first few minutes. Here's Sapola. That one checked out of her stick. But Matiri goes there to pick it up. Bosco is just such a tenacious defender, and they look for Matiri again on the doorstep. Goes by her stick. The shot from Russell goes off the crossbar. Shot clock will reset, and William & Mary gets the ball with a full 90. Or excuse me, back to 60 it goes. That's the new rule this year. It will go back and reset to 60 in those situations. Ahern tries to run this down. Keeps it alive. I think went off her stick. It did not go off her stick last. I was wrong. It goes back to Maryland, and here we go. they work the clear. May scored the first goal of the game. Some quick passing, another stop by Palmer though. Lipkin had a quick stick shot and Palmer gets another save.
It's a big save there, really awesome feed right to the middle. Like you said, a quick stick save is not an easy save to make, right? So that's a really big save there by Elise Palmer.
Yeah, she's got 5 saves today. She had 12 against Richmond, 12 against Duke, 12 against Old Dominion. We talked about the 16 against Nova. I mean, she's good. And to get some good competition too. Definitely.
And to your point before, right? She won a state championship in high school and playing under that pressure and having that kind of that practice playing in big game scenarios and against talented teams and talented shooters. She's definitely bringing it to the big stage.
Well, there's Abby Bosco again, getting the cause turnover, picking up the ground ball, and creating an offensive transition opportunity for Maryland. Now you're seeing the quality of Bosco and why she was so highly touted both at Penn, and she's a Tewaaraton watch list coming into this season, and she can do it against the best of the best, and you're going to see that all season long. Getting her master's in professional studies and technology entrepreneurship here at Maryland after spending 4 years at Penn. So trying to get it all done. Infraction, I believe, in Mary. Here's Kate Seitz from the right side. See if she can test Palmer again. She does, and Palmer once again gets the save, though May picks up the rebound and scores her second. 7-2, Maryland.
An incredible initial save there by Palmer, and then the unfortunate rebound that goes right back in over her head. But that's a tribute to Maryland just always being ready, right? Right off the line, they get that first chance opportunity off the free position shot, and then being ready to back up their teammates off that rebound, scooping it up and putting it right in the back of the net. But a couple of turnovers there on the offensive side for William and Mary turn into some quick transition and a couple shots that Palmer saw there in the span of the last 2 minutes. So Maryland's finally able to put one in the back of the net, and we're going back to the draw circle.
May had 31 goals last year. That was third on the team. Now she's got 12 this season in her third year. She's a junior from Sparks. Was a Power 100 incoming freshman her freshman year. So she's one of those juniors who haven't had a normal year until now, really. It is amazing, Kylie, and I know you've probably seen this and talked to people, how different it is. Last year, we played and everything, but the difference between last year and this year is really big because everyone's like, oh, it actually feels like a normal season again. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. Everyone's like, oh, you had lacrosse last year, but this year, this is actually kind of a real feel and a real season, everybody back together again.
Definitely. As mentioned, I think just the idea of having fans back in the stands and, even on a broadcast, being able to, hear fans in the stands. I was just watching the Stony Brook, Florida game earlier this morning. And,
oh, were you?
Just
a vested interest in that one.
Big win for the Wolves there.
It was,
yeah, I think just being able to hear that, that's a big part of our sport. And that's why, all of our parents are, travel to games and love being a part of it. And all the fans are able to be there and, cheer and root for their squads. I think it's a really special part of our game.
There's Sapola in the middle. Sorry to interrupt you, Kylie, there, but Sapola gets a goal.
That was really awesome take.
Goal scored by number 14.
And the fans at home there at Bush Field appreciated it as well. Sapola gets on the board for the first time today.
Sapola with some Player of the Week nods in the CAA, and you see her taking that strong to cage to her left hand, able to turn around and put it in the back of the net. That low-to-low shot was a really, really nice placement shot there. So William and Mary staying in this game, 7-3.
Yeah, that was a little like an off-speed kind of a feel, right? Going to that side.
Right, and sometimes those are the ones that work, right? Sometimes it's switching it up just a little bit, throwing in those change-ups. A lot of times as shooters, we don't necessarily mean to shoot it slower, but sometimes when it comes out of our stick a little bit of a different way, it's more difficult for the goalie to see. So that ends up going in the back of the net, and that's an awesome finish.
So she scores her 6th goal of the season there. She had such a huge day against Old Dominion. She had missed a couple days after a couple games, actually, after the Villanova win. She got banged up there. Now she gets decked here. But I have to recite her stat line because she had 5 goals, 3 assists, 3 ground balls, a caused turnover, and 7 draw controls in their last game. So she made an impact in the player of the week for a reason. Thierry goes high. That's stopped by Sterling. A whistle there right after the shot. And counting players strikes me as a possible offside call. So that's probably what we're going to go with here. All right, so we restart play here. 9:28 to go in the second. 7-3, Maryland with the lead. Beretta there that time, graduate captain. Over here now to Cordingley once again. In her office, as they say. In there inside, one-timer to Smith. We wait.
Looks like there's a whistle.
I think it went in.
I think it did too. I think the refs have to chat it over just a bit.
And we will wait as well. That would be a hat trick for Smith and the 4th assist of the day for Cordingley. So, what a play once again for Cordingley to continue to feed this offense, Kylie. It's been impressive just to see the way the offense has moved through her today.
Right, absolutely. And, you know, as a goal scorer, right, she also has a ton of assists on her stat line, and she's showcasing that talent and that piece of her stat line here today, especially, you know, from, like you said, in the office back there at X. She looks super comfortable. She is looking for all of her teammates who are cutting through the middle there. And something Coach Kathy Reese did mention as well about her team is that they're starting to really understand how each other work and how each other move, and how best to get through for each other and get open for each other and really work well together as an offense and play to each other's strengths. And I think that's something that you're seeing here today with Aurora being at X and being able to create that offense by looking for those feeds, while the rest of that off-ball offense is really moving around, creating those opportunities.
So there was a penalty there, that a green card on Margaret Mooney. That a green card is for like timing things, offsides and whatnot. So that was what happened after the goal, or around the time the goal was scored. So that's why there is no draw control. Maryland just gets the ball, and with the green card, that's a 1-minute releasable penalty. So Mooney will head to the box now for 1 minute to score 8-3. So that's a hat trick for Smith and the 4th assist of the day, as we said, for Cordingley. So quick possession once again here for Maryland to try and continue to add to their 5-goal lead. First look at a player up offense here. Accordingly.
I'm recognizing here it should technically be a player up, but it looks like a 7-on-7, so I'm wondering if somebody is offsides on the William & Mary sideline and we haven't recognized it yet.
I guess we're rolling with it, so I guess we're going with that. And it'll be William & Mary possession, so away we go here.
Here we go. This Maryland ride proving to be very aggressive here today and making William & Mary work for their clears, right? And I think that's exactly the point that Kathy Reese was talking about, and making sure that that's a point of emphasis for her team. And you can definitely see that's a point of emphasis for them here today. It's taking William & Mary, a little bit of the shot clock to really get over over that restraining line, player up or even. It's been a very big point of emphasis for the Maryland squad.
And that, I believe, was the third in the middle of the field, so that will draw the card. 3 infractions as William & Mary was trying to clear. That drew the whistle from our official for the 3rd time. And now William & Mary will have what we believe is an advantage here for a minute long. That was against Cordingley. So Cordingley has to go to the bench for a minute. And William & Mary now gets an opportunity at a player up. The Maryland penalty was released. That one right into the middle. The shot stopped by Sterling. Rebound for the Tribe. Here's Martiri. Looks left, looks right. Then into the hands of Sterling again. Another rebound, though. Another opportunity for the Tribe. One quick stick and score. It's Mooney, fresh out of the box. Her 2nd goal of her career.
What I loved about that play there, you know, taking advantage of that player up opportunity. They had 2 really nice shots there to begin with and 2 really great saves, but what they got were those second chance opportunities off of the rebound. And instead of right off of that last rebound, that 3rd time around, you saw the player that picked up the rebound kind of settling down the offense, saying, hold on a second, let's catch our breath for a second. We still have 45 seconds left to go. Let's see what we can get here. And that little bit of calm, that little bit of poise really helped kind of just open up that quick slide and that opportunity for that awesome quick stick shot.
So it is Gilbert to Mooney. Mooney 2nd of the season. Gilbert's 1st assist of the year. A freshman to a freshman there. And William & Mary, you can see their youth movement, and that's really, they put a lot on those underclassmen to help guide this program. Penalty released for Maryland here. And a whistle coming off the draw, so William & Mary will get it back. They're down just 4, 8-4 is the score now. 6 minutes to play in the half. I mean, you got to imagine for Colleen Dawson, I mean, it was 3-0 like within the first 2 minutes. I mean, you got to feel a little bit better about yourself. You played them almost even since then.
Definitely, and I think, you know, to your point, I think you mentioned before just about nerves and jitters and excitement, and that all plays a factor in that, right? And you're coming out and playing against the number 4 team in the country, your coach's alma mater. You know, there's a lot of pressure, a lot of things that come with that. So I think, you know, you've seen William & Mary settle in since then, and you see them a little bit more poised and thinking about exactly how they're going to attack on offense. A lot of big turnovers on defense as well. So I'm sure they're proud of how they've continued to play ever since that 3-0 start.
Shot stopped again by Sterling off the stick of Russell. But William & Mary doing a good job of picking up these second chances. And this time, can it get run down? Sapolo just not there in time. Less than 5 minutes to play in the second. Maryland now takes over on offense. Even strength for both sides now. Lubiker does have a goal today. According to those 4 assists, looking for another. Lipkin, good catch in there. How does she keep that in her stick? But she does.
That was a great decision there.
This time she finds Cordingley. Cordingley's first, the 9th of the day for Maryland. It's 9-4.
Like you said, Lipkin off the first initial cut, she catches in traffic and she's able to kind of handle a bunch of that pressure in the middle of the 8. And rather than taking a contested shot with her hands maybe not so free, she pulls it out, she moves the ball, and then she ends up finding an open Aurora Cordingley, who fakes high, finishes low, and that's her first goal of the day, and a really pretty one at that.
Second assist of the year for Lipkin. She now has a goal and assist today. 5 points for Cordingley in the first half. I mean, she is on a roll. She's won the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week 3 straight times. She's the first to do that for Maryland since Taylor Cummings did that. So she's doing some pretty big things here, and just she's got one season. Better make the most of it, right? That's the age we're living in now.
Absolutely.
Violation on the draw. Now Maryland gets it back again. Yeah, Lipkin, as Kylie was alluding to, you can see the talent and the patience she had. She was the 8th recruit in the country coming in, part of this top recruiting class. She has a twin, Allie, who plays at Penn State.
Looks as if they've put her in a little bit of a different role in the offense now. Instead of playing at X, she's working a little bit in the middle as an off-ball player.
What a move by Lubicker, her second of the day. 10-4 Maryland.
Terrapin's goal scored by number 4.
Lubecker finds a nice opening there on the elbow from some sliding defenders. Right in between them, she's able to tuck her stick a little bit, get between that pressure, and a nice low-to-low finish.
I had in my notes from Kathy Reese that she explodes out of her dodges. I think that would characterize itself as an explosion out of a dodge there.
Definitely. I think that's one of the main traits you look for as a dodger is you always want to go into your dodge a little bit slower than when you burst out of it, right? Exploding per se. So you definitely saw that on that dodge. She exploded right through the middle and was able to finish her shot as well.
So 2 goals today for Lubicker. She's the first homeschooled recruit ever of Kathy Reese. Obviously a whole different dynamic of trying to find somebody that wasn't necessarily tied to a high school, but Lubicker playing for the Skywalkers, also played for a Fellowship of Christian Athletes varsity team there just to get her time and to get her looks for different colleges and universities. And obviously Kathy Reese found a good one, and Lubicker has been really good for them since she stepped on campus. Portland was open in the middle. That one that goes past her stick and into the stick of Gilbert.
Nice move there by Gilbert, running the ball up the field.
Surrounded by red shirts, though, and trying to pick it up is Caroline Jordan. Able to draw a foul there. Now they get it out to Mooney. Another ground ball picked up by William and Mary. Glasses, the goggles came off of Lamoureux. Less than 3 minutes to go here in the half. Russell. Defense by Aiden Paduzzi. Look at how far she pushes Russell out.
Definitely a staple of that Maryland offense, creating pressure so that defense is creating pressure so that offenses feel a little bit of that pressure and have to make those decisions, whether they're going to dodge, whether they're going to feed, what they're going to do next. They're making those decisions under pressure, which is usually not an easy thing to do.
So Materi picked that up nicely, and she actually drew a foul. She went to goal last time she was on this hash. This time she passes out of it, though. 36 here on the possession clock. Russell wide open in front, shoots, gets it deflected over the cage. Roth picks it up. Takes a look at the possession clock, sees there's 20 seconds. Zapola fading away, stopped by Sterling, but she gets hit. And it looks like we're gonna get a card out of that as well. It might have been on the follow through, as it looks like it is Maryland possession. So that's gonna go against William & Mary in this case.
Yeah, Zapola tried to turn the corner there to take that shot. She ended up following through, and her follow through ended up hitting the Maryland player. So that's rewarded Maryland with the ball and William & Mary with a yellow card here. So Maryland, if they're able to clear this one cleanly after a tough hit right there, they will be player up.
That's Maddie Sanchez. Down for the moment, gets back up. She'll go take a breather. Accordingly in front, fakes high, goes low, and she scores. 6 points today for Aurora Accordingly, her second goal.
Second goal of the day, looking very similar to her first, with that fake high and that finish low. That is something that's a really big part of her game, as you can see in a lot of her highlight reel plays. She's very deceptive with her stick. Yes, she can feed. Yes, she can definitely dodge. She's very shifty with her feet. But as she catches here, you see her fake high, finish low before she even gets any sort of pressure from that coma slide. And I think, that's a big piece of her game, is that ability to be deceptive and fake out a goalie.
She'll play for Team Canada in this summer's World Championships against Kylie. You ready to go? This is a perfect scouting opportunity for you, Kylie.
Yes, just getting my homework in. That's exactly why I'm here.
The draw. Hertzberg goes to grab it, and she gets fouled while doing so. So she does grab that, and William & Mary will take over possession. Just about a minute to go here in the half. They trail 11-4. Matiri behind the cage. She'll play for the Czech Republic in this summer's World Championship. So all sorts of scouting going on.
Definitely getting my good deal of scouting, but super exciting to see, a lot of younger players getting the opportunity to play in the World Championship this summer for their respective countries. It's just incredible to know how much talent there really is out there in the NCAA this year. Division I, Division II, Division III. It's just the talent is endless, and that's an incredible save right there.
Might have been deflected off the stick and off the post there by Mooney. Had a good look. Maryland with one more opportunity here, maybe. Depends on who picks it up. And it is picked up by the William & Mary side. So Claire Dodo able to get that, the freshman. 8 seconds on the clock. Can William & Mary get the goal before the time expires? One more try. And it is saved by Sterling. The final seconds tick off, and Maryland, the number 4 team in the nation, looking like it in the first half. William & Mary scratching and clawing, but they still trail 11-4. But it has been Aurora Accordingly all day long for the Terps. 2 goals, 4 assists. That's 6 points in total for the Oakville, Ontario native. It's 11-4, halftime in Williamsburg, Virginia. We'll get you back out here for the second half. But first, we'll take a break. You're watching the CAA Game of the Week live on Lax Sports Network. Well, I hope everybody got their free frozen yogurt today here in Bushfield. A beautiful afternoon for lacrosse. A Saturday in March. Couldn't get much better than that here in Williamsburg, Virginia. Just about 60 degrees is the temperature. Alongside Kylie O'Miller, I am Tom Eschen. Thanks for joining us here for this CAA Game of the Week. Maryland with an 11-4 advantage, or accordingly a big first half. But as Kylie just mentioned here in the highlights, Maryland has spread things around quite a bit as well. 6 different goal scorers. They want 7. We'll see who maybe gets that 7th different goal scorer in the first half. William & Mary with 4 different goal scorers for their 4 goals in the first half as well. I guess if you're Colleen Dawson, Kylie, kind of put yourself in her shoes. What's your message here as you begin the third quarter?
Yeah, I think, if I'm Colleen Dawson, I'm thinking about maybe minimizing some of our, own team mistakes, things like little turnovers that we might be able to take back. Maybe we can turn those around a little bit in the second half here. You're playing against an incredible history, Maryland defense. So playing to your strengths, I think they're doing an incredible job of that on the William & Mary offense, and just capitalizing on a lot of those second chance opportunities they keep getting, I think is what's gonna get them back in this game.
Colleen Dawson with some high fives as you weren't with us at the beginning of the broadcast. Dawson, an alum of Maryland, went there from 2008 to 2011, won a national title there under Kathy Reese in 2010. And, of course, Maryland, their dominance over the course of the last few decades in lacrosse. It is well documented. Maybe trying to, return to form for them as the last couple seasons. In 2020, of course, no one went to the tournament, but Maryland not getting to the Final Four for the first time in 11 seasons, but now looking very much back to form here in 2022 as we get set here to start the third quarter in Williamsburg, Virginia. Draw between Ahern and Zingo is won by Ahern, and Maryland will take possession here to start this third. Maryland led after 5-2, and it was somewhat close, about 4 goals, and then Maryland really started to put on the gas in the second as there was a couple of penalties on William & Mary that didn't help, and now Maryland gets the draw. It's been somewhat even draws now. William & Mary really caught up after struggling to start. 10-8, Maryland leading that category.
Yeah, and that was a piece that Coach Colleen Dawson was talking about as well, right? They feel very strong about their draw unit, and that they can keep themselves in games due to that, right? Winning the draw, ruling the world. So if that's a piece they can continue to use throughout this 2022 season, I think they can definitely find themselves successful in a lot of these games they'll be playing.
Yeah, when it comes to the CAA for William & Mary, you know, with JMU not eligible for the tournament, they're still playing in the CAA, but maybe that could open up an opportunity if William & Mary can be that 4th team and make the conference tourney and maybe get some, you know, take a step forward here in the conference. That would be big as well if they can continue to do well in some of these different statistical areas as we get into conference play here in a few weeks. So after the foul, the possession clock will reset here to 90 for Maryland to reset their offense here. Accordingly on the inside, up and down goes Eloise Clevinger. She is the 7th scorer of the day for Maryland, right on cue, her 3rd of the season. It's 12-4.
Taking some notes out of Aurora Accordingly's book there with the fake high, finish low. I think something they saw a little bit in the beginning of the game was Elise Palmer in goal for William & Mary. As they wrapped around that crease in the beginning of the game, they took a couple low shots where they dropped their stick low. So they kind of, you know, showed her, hey, I'm going to shoot low. And she made some incredible saves there. And what they've done to adjust, which, you know, makes Maryland an incredible team, is their ability to adjust in game. And you've seen that on their last couple shots, too, from Aurora Accordingly. And right there as well, that fake high, finish low, getting Elise Palmer to move just a little bit before they finish those shots has proved to be a little bit more successful as you go with a 12-4 score here for Maryland.
5 assists for Accordingly today to go along with 2 goals. She's 2nd in the NCAA in points per game at 6.75, so right at her season average. And as we mentioned, Clevinger gets her 1st of the day, her 3rd of the year for the sophomore from Woodstock, Maryland. Mary won the draw, so now here they are in offense. Ahonen has a goal. Coming from behind, though, a nice play defensively by Griffin. William & Mary keeps possession, though. All right, Terry, just the 1 goal of the day. Open, high, then low, and stopped there by Sterling. I mean, Sterling hasn't been tested all that often, but she's saved them when she's needed to. 9 saves today now.
Absolutely, some big stops in there, and she doesn't fall for the fake on the other side there. Makes a big stop, a reset for the William & Mary offense with the shot clock. Looking to see if they can get in there a different way.
And Maryland takes it back after the turnover. Paduzzi. In transition, a whistle will blow there. Sometimes you do see that in transition with a shooting space. So May will get a opportunity here on the 8-meter. Already with 2 goals today, looking for a hat trick. May goes right to the goal. It gets ticked away. A good job defensively that time. I think Donovan got her stick on it. Maryland, though, has made the clear very difficult. 6 for 8 today is William & Mary on the clear. So it's been difficult just to get it in their offensive end.
Definitely, and that's a mark of a great team as well, right? When the ride is of importance, and a lot of times coaches will say the goal of the ride might not be to turn the ball over from the other team, but it might just be to waste 30 seconds of the shot clock. Make them take a long time to get the ball over the 30, and then they only have 60 seconds to attack the cage rather than a full 90. So I think that Maryland's doing a really incredible job of a little bit of both here today, as you see a turnover in the ride.
There's Cordingley again in front, and the ball bounces way out after that, and now picked up by Donovan. Didn't exactly see what happened there. I don't know if Cordingley got the ball on the cage or if it came out of her stick, but nonetheless, William & Mary gets possession back. Hit the post is what we're being told, so that's what happened there. A lot of sticks were in the way.
Looked like a little pipe there as well, because Elise Palmer was turning around looking to see where the ball went, so must have rung off one of those side pipes and bounced back into the middle and was looking around for the ball.
Cordingley doesn't miss the cage often. Going into the day, she had technically missed it once. Almost every shot she had taken had been on goal in one way, shape, or form. So she keeps it close.
Yeah, that's a shooting percentage I think most offensive players aim for.
Yeah. See this just defense for Maryland, just closing in on everybody and quickly getting the ball back and the other way. Bosco, she gets fouled up high, wants a card. They move her back a little bit. Bosco, she was an Ivy Leaguer, so she played only about 6 games the last 2 years. Played 1 game last year against LaSalle. Sort of a one-off deal, so she's getting finally, this is her 5th game of the year and getting one last gasp at a full season for a lot of these Ivy League players, and she gets to do that here at Maryland.
Yeah, definitely an exciting time for a lot of different programs, right? Getting back on the field. We talked about it earlier in the broadcast. After a crazy couple of years, but especially for the Ivy League.
Ooh! Oh. Almost the behind the back for Cordingley.
That was pretty.
Seitz working her way inside. Whistle blows, and we'll get a free position out of that. Pass out of it. Gathering again. Lubiker, that time, a lot of defense on her. Dodo does a good job. She causes the turnover. That whistle goes against Maryland, so Bosco has to stop.
Saw the William & Mary coaching staff getting really excited on the sideline there after that turnover. That was a big one, putting a little bit of pressure on the Maryland offense. That's put 12 goals in the back of their net so far. So getting excited about the little things, getting excited about those big plays. That's a program that cares right there, and that's really cool to see.
Confidence builders.
Absolutely.
Gilbert. And I think was that deflected? No, it just goes up and over the stick there. So Maryland will take over. And you see the tenaciousness of the Maryland side of defense, just making it so difficult for William & Mary just to get some routine passes over.
Maryland doing a great job as well. It's right when they get those turnovers, the ball hits the floor on their defensive end. It's maybe 2 or 3 passes, if that, 1 or 2 long passes right up the field, and they're getting the ball into their offensive set relatively quickly.
There goes Lubiker all the way in for the score, 13-4. Hat trick today for Hannah Lubiker.
Lipkin's goal scored by number 40, Hannah Lubecker, with no assist.
A great take there. She sees a little bit of extra pressure, and she's able to kind of maneuver around it with a couple different split dodges, get back to the middle and finish that with her left hand. just taking advantage of that pressure from the William & Mary defense. Sometimes if you can catch the defender on their heels just a little bit as they start to press out, going full speed like that and being an explosive dodger, like Kathy Reese said, that'll prove to be really successful there in that dodge.
The junior with a hat trick today. Her and Shannon Smith each with hat tricks for Maryland. Continuing to fill it up now, 13-4, 9-goal lead. A draw won by Ahern. Fourth in the NCAA in that category coming into the day, and draw controls per game just under 9. May goes right to the cage, but there's 4 white shirts there. She collided with a bunch of them, so I think they're going to get called for it. Sometimes you'll see a charge out of that, but it seems like she maneuvered just enough away from them. So she draws it and gets that one right down the middle. Looking for a hat trick of her own. She goes to goal and scores a hat trick for Libby May.
Multiple hat tricks on this Maryland offense. We mentioned it in the beginning of the broadcast, but that's something that Kathy Reese really is a point of emphasis for her team, right? Having multiple goal scorers, and here today you see multiple goal scorers having multiple goal gains here today. So that's a great take there. Another opportunity off the free position line for Libby May.
You might remember Libby played alongside her sister Katie. Katie, who graduated in 2021. So Libby doing it herself. I know Kylie has experience in that with her sister Taryn, of course, finishing up last year, right? That was it for Taryn. That was her last season.
That's correct. 2021 was the year that all the Ole Millers graduated from Stony Brook. But a very bittersweet feeling for sure. But also just the most special thing in the world, as I'm sure Libby and Katie May can attest to, just playing alongside your sister. Same locker room, same mindset, same team goal, but also just having the opportunity to share those moments with your sister is really special.
And if you go to the record books, actually the Ole Millers surround a Maryland alum in all-time career points. So you've got Kylie on top with your 498, that's what I'm looking at, and then Jen Adams, and then Taryn in third. So the Ole Millers surround a Maryland, Stony Brook. So that's some synergy there too. Love it.
That is a special stat right there.
Isn't that cool?
Especially being in the company of Jen Adams, an absolute legend.
And Lubiker gets her fourth. Hannah Lubiker starting to go to work here for Maryland as they're pouring it on in Bush Field today.
40, Hannah Lubecker, with the assist from number 32, Shannon Smith.
Another result of that fast transition offense for Maryland, getting the ball up from their defensive end up the field in just a couple quick passes, really overlapping in the way that they run up the field as their midfielders and their attackers get the ball up the field from their defenders. And you see bing, bang, boom, right into the back of the net. Fourth goal there, and we've got running time here, which we've had for a goal already, but running time on the clock in the third quarter.
Yeah, Kylie, you make such a great observation there, how quickly the field flips as soon as Maryland gets the ball back. It's been amazing to see. There's nothing really that goes on in the middle. It's all of a sudden you're like, oh, already Maryland's on the doorstep ready to score. Their transition, it just comes so fast. It's got to be like a waterfall trying to stop that if you're the Tribe.
Right, and I think that goes to really put your offense in a really great position once you do get the ball down in the field. You're already on so much momentum and so much adrenaline coming down the field. Everything's happening so quickly already.
There's Cordingley. Cordingley now with a hat trick. She's got 8 points.
I stopped talking there on that one because I saw her go for a little bit of a fake cut and then a backdoor on the defender that was trying to press out and really lock her off from getting the ball. And that was just a great play there. You see her fake out to that left side and then backdoor right away to her strong-handed right. She fakes here, pops back the other way, and an incredible feed. right over the top. That's a difficult feed to make as well. You know, you recognize that her teammate put that out in front of her. If that pass was any closer to her face or to her body, that's a difficult pass to be able to control and finish. But an incredible feed there that Aurora accordingly is able to capitalize on.
So Aurora now with 8 points today. Like I mentioned, she is currently on pace coming into the day for 155 all time. You see who's at the top there, Kylie. I mean, if she can keep this up, it's going to be very difficult. She's got to be right around 8 points per game over the course of a full season plus NCAA tournaments. But her pace, as it continues to keep up, it's right up there with the best of the best single season-wise. And she's really putting together a great start to her Maryland and her one season here.
Definitely, and that's not easy to do. And I think that she's surrounded by some really incredible teammates that are putting her in some great positions to be able to not only finish right on those shots that she's been able to have today and in previous games this season so far, but as mentioned, she's also been quarterbacking a little bit and looking up for those feeds and having a bunch of assists. I think her stat line is even right now in today's game, 4-4. So it's cool. It's very exciting to see a player that has multiple facets and is able to really showcase that at the highest level.
Yeah,
she's 3 and 5.
Yep.
I was close.
You got the total correct. We know it's 8 points. But
even better, more assists.
I mean, as you know from experience, it's got to be so hard to be so consistent in that game by game. Like, you can't have an off game, right? If you're going to be able to put those kind of numbers up.
Yeah, you know, I think that there's definitely going to be off moments. We're all human, you know, but I think the pressure that surrounds it is making sure that you're doing what you need to do for your team. And whether that is 8 goals in a game or 8 assists in a game, or maybe it's not so much having too many points that game and it's really just picking up those loose balls and keeping your team, you know, in the huddle in a tough game, whatever it might be, I think is probably exactly what Aurora is looking to do for her Maryland team here.
There's May's 4th of the day. Maryland adds another quickly off that draw. They are running away with it here in the third after a pretty close first half. Kathy Reese has made her adjustments, as have the players, and Maryland, they are coasting at the moment.
Yeah, you definitely see a little extra burst of energy from this Maryland team coming right off the draw, as mentioned before as well, right off of any turnover, any ball that hits the floor on the defensive end. The ball just quickly travels right into their offensive end, and they're taking advantage of a lot of these quick transition goals. That's put them up 17-4 here.
May, one of the juniors on this team, and so you have some of these pieces of Maryland as we continue to sort of evaluate them and look at what they're going to look like on the national scale. They've got some of these pieces that you know, they complement each other really well, and you know, like we said before, they've had a couple years to get a feel for everybody, and now it feels like things are starting to really click for this team. Bosco comes out with that. Accordingly, on the doorstep again, tough angle, and that time Palmer gets it. So some confidence building there for Palmer, mirroring what she did in the first.
A nice adjustment there on the flip side for Elise Palmer and Cage. She saw the Aurora accordingly fake high, finish low, and this time she was really patient on the fake high and was able to make the save low. So again, great adjustments that we're seeing all around, all over the field here today.
Gilbert, an aggressive take there. The stick breaks of Beretta as Gilbert went in hard, and somehow Beretta, her stick broke in that process. She'll have to go get a new one.
You'll see Gilbert moving her arm around just a little bit there.
Yep.
Sometimes that's a result of some tough defensive pressure. You'll catch that right in the arm.
I wonder, her arm probably broke the stick, I'd imagine, right? That probably what happened there.
Yeah. Which, you know, goes to show how strong and powerful these athletes are, right?
Thierry hasn't scored yet here in the third. She had a goal in the first half. Quiet in the second, as has been this William & Mary offense. Still looking for goal number 1 with 90 seconds to go in the third. Finding an opening now for Martiri. She goes to the doorstep. The shot and the score for Cipolla, her second of the day.
Great look there. I think what you're seeing a little bit from the William & Mary offense is they're looking to get those righty sweeps across the top. As you see here from Martyr, she's looking up, and then you see a little bit of a sneak cut there from Cipolla from right back around. It catches the defender, not paying too much attention on the backside around the crease, and keeping those eyes up as you dodge across the middle like that. Makes for an easy feed and awesome catch and finish.
So the second for Cipolla, first assist of the day for Martiri. And she'll actually go play she's going to play another year. She's going to go play grad here at Clemson. So I think that'll be, we saw Pittsburgh in their first year get they got a bunch of transfers there for Emily Boissonneau's team. And now Allison Kolick in Clemson, they're going to get a pretty good score in Martiri, a big part of that offense for Clemson's first season. So I think that's kind of cool that she's going to go spend her fifth year there too.
Definitely cool for her to know exactly where she's going too, giving it her all here for William & Mary, and then being able to finish out at a different program. I think it's definitely a really unique opportunity.
Maryland looking for one more here before the third ends. Shooting space call. They got to go quickly since the time is running. I don't know if they're going to get set quick enough, and they do not. So that will do it here for the third quarter, and the official says no. You don't get an opportunity at the end of the third. 17-5. Maryland had plenty of opportunities in that third. They outscore William & Mary 6-1. They lead 17-5. We're through 3 here in our CAA Game of the Week. Fourth quarter about to begin in Virginia, but a look back at the third, and it was all Maryland all the time here, Kylie. Multiple players now with hat tricks. Lubiker, Smith, Cordingley, and May. Lubiker's got 4 goals today. It was just Maryland dominating that third.
Yeah, definitely. You saw a little bit of a burst of energy from the Maryland squad coming out of the halftime, and they definitely dominated that third quarter. So we'll see what William & Mary can do to answer in this fourth quarter here.
That draw going the way of William & Mary, now 16-10. They have the edge there after William & Mary had sort of sized it up a little bit, but now Maryland really, and it seems like whatever they did at halftime has worked out for them pretty well. We'll see now if Kathy Reese maybe gets some more players in here as Emma Tilson's come in, Darby Welsh in this midfield, different unit for Maryland to start this fourth quarter as they try to get a look at some different players and look at their depth a bit too. So it'll be Natalie Pancini. She is one of the transfers, one of the 5 that came in for Maryland out of Princeton, and she gets an opportunity at a free position. That deflected there in front by Ahonen, so Palmer able to gather that quite easily. But taken right back away by Lipkin. Lipkin with a goal and an assist today. Those all happening in the first half. There's Tilson again, trying to scoop her way through when she gets fouled on that way through. She'll get it right behind the fan there. Julia Hoffman, senior from Elkridge, Maryland, excuse me. Hench goes to the doorstep. Couple fakes and a score. It's Lipkin. Second goal of the day.
Awesome finish there. I think she was just about a step over goal and extended if she wasn't on goal and extended there. Not too much of an angle on her finish, but a great look. Coming from up top, right down low, she's able to finish that as she, gets some pressure coming across the crease from the defender sliding. But a fake high, a fake low, and a finish right over Elise Palmer's head. Maryland looking to move the ball a little bit, get the ball in everybody's hands, get some touches and different sticks, and looking to see what kind of offense they can come out of that. And that was a great look.
Another 2-goal day for Lipkin, coming off a 2-goal and an assist performance against Delaware. So she's having a nice little run here for the freshman. Ahern winning that draw. 5th draw win of the day.
Kathy Reese mentioning something about Ahern and Bosco being an incredible duo on the draw circle, on the draw unit, being able to read each other and really communicate well with each other as they see a slew of different, draw takers in the games that they play against, right? The draw being so important in gaining those possessions and flipping the momentum of the games. So, Ahern and Bosco really being that kind of duo here for Maryland has been proven to be really successful. And Lipkin runs into the ref there.
They've combined for 10 draws today. And you talk about the different draw takers, and just seeing different teams this year feels like for these Big Ten squads is so important after a couple seasons in which it was hard to really, figure things out, I guess. And you saw a lot of the same teams over and over again, probably saw yourselves in practice over and over again. But now getting these non-conference schedules back for growth for a team, especially for one like Maryland, who they have a tried and true method over the years. I'm sure last year was a little different, but this time now you get to see a different goalie, get to see a different attack. That's got to really help, especially for a younger team and trying to develop.
Definitely. I think it was something Kathy Reese mentioned as well, right? Like playing against the same teams multiple times in one season last year was definitely difficult for a lot of the Big Ten teams, playing against teams twice or even 3 times in a season. Those teams, get to know your ins and outs as a team, right? And they know exactly where you're going to shoot. They know exactly how you're going to run your offense. They know exactly when and who you're going to slide to on defense. A lot of those tendencies become less of a surprise the more you play a team, right? So it is probably very exciting for Maryland and a lot of those other Big Ten programs that didn't see much outside competition last season to see, new goalies, new defenses, like you said, new offenses, and really put their strategy to the test.
Shot by Risk goes back, and Julia Hoffman there to back it up. Lipkin again, that one taken away. Star Howard providing some resistance there defensively. Howard checking in for the first time today, the senior from Rockville, daughter of Juwan Howard, Michigan basketball coach. Their pass inside, and Palmer with a lot of bodies and sticks in her way, somehow able to track that down. Not an easy save to make. Ozzy surrounded by red shirts here in transition, and she's able to get it into the offensive zone for William & Mary. Now Martiri goes to work. Pola spins, finds some space, just a little wide. 9 minutes to go. Ahonen. As Colleen Dawson's also put some different faces in there. Little hidden ball for Martiri. Keeps it and shoots just wide.
2 great takes back-to-back there from Sapola and Martiri. Coming around, you see a lot of their offense is starting back there behind the cage. Just doing a great job at tracking that on the defensive end.
Back to Martiri we go. Lily Grant defending her, the freshman. Here's Sophia Chiodo Ortiz, a freshman from Ambler, Pennsylvania. She takes a shot. There's now 5 on the clock. They wanted a reset, didn't get it. Got to go for Sapola. Oh, they do get the reset. There it is. Does go to 60, so they did get it eventually. Got a little close, but back to 60 we go. Good possession for William & Mary. New goalie is in there right now, by the way, for the Maryland women. This is the freshman, Emily Lamperter. Barber takes it in, and she gets that taken away. Couldn't take it in far enough. Natalie Pancini comes up with it, and now she's on the ground. She gets it taken away. Sapola's everywhere for this William & Mary team. And she gets it taken away. Ball bouncing in front here, just in the middle of the scoring area, and now here we go. Maryland gets it back. Chrissy Thomas fouled by Howard there. Midway through this fourth, 18-5 is the score. Emma Hall looking into the middle. Good defense there, where they're going to call a push. Olivia Naughton was right there, but just got a little bit too aggressive. So a free position coming here for the Maryland women. Loren Blakesley bounces it and into the stick of Palmer. Nice save there.
Another nice save for Palmer off a free position opportunity as well.
And she's got...
looking to get this ball out on transition.
Sorry to interrupt there, Kyla. She's got another 12 saves today, Palmer. So she has certainly filled that part of the stat sheet quite nicely all season long.
Definitely staying consistent.
Yeah. Open in the middle is Hayley Russo, and she scores. I think she hit her teammate when she was spiking her stick, but she does get her second goal of the season.
That's one of those moments they'll probably remember for a very, very long time. One of those funny moments that happens out on the field after an exciting goal for Russo. Just one of those things that makes, college sports and college lacrosse so special and so memorable, right? Those little moments that make everybody laugh. But that was an awesome play there. Wide open in the middle. As Elise Palmer looks to come out for William & Mary, incredible game there for her. Like you said, 12 saves on the day.
Yeah.
Can't ask for more than that against the number 4 team in the country.
She did everything she could have, and obviously Maryland just coming at her time after time after time. It adds up after a while. See some of the depth for Maryland now. Grace Griffin. And that's the thing, like you look at their roster, yeah, they've got these cornerstones, if you will, of transfers and some of the upperclassmen, but then, they have this #1 ranked freshman recruiting class, and, not a ton of them play. You want to say, well, there's just people in front of them, and that's just the way it's gone. And you go back to the last couple of years for Maryland, and 2020 didn't start the way that they used it. They played a really tough schedule to start 2020, and they were 3-3, losses to Florida, Carolina, and Syracuse, and some of those are blowouts. 2021, you come back and you break the Final Four streak. But Maryland, Kylie, you know this, like on a yearly, in 2019, no one was really talking about them until the end of the year. It's like a diesel engine. Once they takes them a while to get started, and once they get going, it's like, oh, now you understand why they've been so dominant for so long.
Right, and to your point about having so much depth on their team, I think that that's just a staple of their program too. You haven't seen much drop off here, as Kathy Reese has put in a bunch of players, like you said, that don't get too much playing time here in this game, and they're still dominating a lot of these caused turnovers in the midfield, pushing the pace in transition, still getting a lot of great looks on cage. So they're just stacked in a sense of, that depth within their team, and that's been a mark of their program for a really long time, and that's what proves them to be really successful come May.
And I'm sitting here trying to think about how they stack up against, the teams like Boston College, Carolina, Stony Brook. Kylie, you saw them today with a big win, and Maryland 4th in the nation, but I don't know if because of the last couple of years they've been talked about like that, but you can't really judge them in March, right? You got to judge them in May, but right now they look like they've got the squad to do it, just from my perspective and watching it and seeing what they have together here.
Definitely, and I think that the game is different in March than it is in May for almost every squad, right? I think that you come out in the beginning of the season and you're looking to make sure that everything kind of fits together the way that you had been working on all fall and all preseason, and working through the kinks of some early losses or some early, tight games, things like that. I think every program kind of goes through early in the season, and then come May, your goal is to have the best version of that team out there on the field. And I think that's something that Maryland is very successful at. Like you said, you kind of see them succeed more and more as they go throughout the season. So I wouldn't be surprised if they find themselves back in a Final Four this May.
Yeah, and also you have to give a lot of credit to Colleen Dawson and William & Mary for scheduling such a tough early schedule. It's not easy to come out and play these teams on a somewhat weekly basis. So they're getting their lumps, but I feel like that helps a program develop over the years.
Right, absolutely.
And there you go. The first fourth quarter goal goes to Meg Baxter for William & Mary. The first goal of her career.
Super exciting moment. You see her teammates celebrating with her. Despite being down right now in this game to Maryland, I think that those little moments are what make it special, right? And we were just talking about we're playing Maryland early in March. Shows you a lot about the character of your team and shows you a lot about your potential and the things that you can work on that you can bring into the rest of March and April and May. And you see a lot of different goal scorers here for William & Mary and a lot of different contributors all over the field. So they should definitely be proud of the effort they've put forward today.
And Meg Baxter now can say her first goal ever came against Maryland. That's pretty good. I mean,
right.
For the rest of your life.
I definitely can't say that. So that's a really awesome stat.
A sophomore out of Indianapolis, played in just 4 games last year. This is the 3rd game she's played in this year. So getting some time. And then how about that? She comes back out and wins the draw.
Love it. Finishing strong.
Minute to go here, 19-6. Maryland looking like they'll go to a pretty 5-0 here in 2022. Gladstein looking into the middle. Another shot, another goal. This time it's Abby Morley, the freshman from Lancaster.
Again, some more celebrations, some excitement there from William & Mary.
William & Mary goal scored by number 16.
Proud of themselves that they can do it, right? Like showing themselves that, hey, in these pressure situations, we can handle a really tough feed right there under some really tough pressure from a Maryland defender and be able to finish that. That's going to show within the coming months in those big game scenarios.
Second goal of the career of Abby Morley, the freshman. Scored one against Old Dominion and a quick restart here, but that should just about do it. 1 on the clock. It is Maryland coming in to Williamsburg and getting a 19-8 victory over William & Mary. Maryland improving to 5-0 on the season. William & Mary falling to 2-3. We're going to take a short break and come back and wrap things up in a moment. You're watching the CAA Game of the Week on Lax Sports Network. The post-game handshake, something we didn't see a year ago, but all in good sportsmanship for two teams that battled it out today here in Williamsburg, Virginia. 19-7 the final. Your final thoughts here, Kylie, before we go.
Yeah, a great battle between two incredible teams. Really exciting to see these handshakes back out on the field here in 2022. A third quarter, fourth quarter push from the number 4 team in the country, Maryland. And they kind of just dominated after halftime. A couple multi-goal scorers, and that's exactly what Kathy Reese is looking for in her offense. So that was an incredible game there played by William & Mary, who showed a lot of grit and a lot of potential to prove themselves as they go throughout the rest of this season.
Yeah, they will go and have a home game here against American next time out. That's next weekend. While Maryland, they will go back home and take on Villanova, followed by Rutgers, Penn, and JMU. So Maryland, things will start to get a little bit tougher here as the season goes on. Aurora, accordingly, 8 points on the day, 3 goals, 5 assists, so she keeps up her pace. Lubiker had 4 for Libby May. A really impressive performance for Maryland. And Kylie, one more thought before you go away. In terms of the grand scheme, Maryland, is this team, are they back officially yet? Is this it?
I don't think they ever really went anywhere. It's a great program. It's a historic program, and number 4 team in the country right now in March. Who knows? They could be number 4 or even number 1 come May. But it looks like they've got all the pieces of the puzzle, and it's been an exciting game to watch here today.
Yeah, they didn't go anywhere. If they did, it wasn't for very long. They come out with another win here today, improving to 5-0 here in 2022. Well, that'll do it for our coverage here from Busch Field in Williamsburg, Virginia. For the rest of our team and Kylie O'Miller and Dylan Hand, our producer, I'm Tom Eschen. Thank you for watching, everybody. We will see you next time.